is Bill. I'm going to be your reader today. I cut my live stream short on Tuesday, the 16th, due to an accident that occurred in the house. This is one of the questions I didn't get to. And Azar asked the question, will Yasmin come back to Azar? Will Yasmin come back to Azar? We're going to do a 3-card. 2 cards actually already popped out. Got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, Azar, it looks like Yasmin will probably come back to you. You will gain a fresh start, however. You'll have a lot of anxiety in this. There'll be lots of anxiety. And your friend network will be supportive around you. So you need to be in contact with your friends and her friends in order for this union to take place. Your friends and her friends need to be in this loop because you have no contact with her. But you also need to be on the lookout for the fact that you are blaming yourself for why she went away. You do need to ruminate over these reasons and the reasons that she gave. But we have over here this of friendship. Now, whether she'll come back to you as a lover is a different story. That may not happen this time. She may come back to you as a friend. But there is some, maybe when she does come back, it'll be with the passion of this wand, the fiery, with new fiery passion, Welcome, Christine, and welcome, Fabian. Welcome to Tools of Fortune, and I am Bill, the reader for the next approximately 1 hour. Please like the video. I see there's 19 people looking in, so if you could do me a big favor and push the like button to help push this thing out a little further. And so what is the energy that we have here, Azar? Your total energy. We have 11 and 9, that's 20, 23, it's 5. And so what we got going on here, for this to happen, there's got to have some changes have got to be made. Changes. And those changes, I am doing great, Christine. Those changes are going to be challenging. But in the end, Azar, you will experience a new freedom. But you got to go through these trials. You got to ruminate on why. Why did she leave? You need to ask her. You probably know. She probably did tell you why she left. Great. Thank you for the sub. And thank you for that. For the changes. Making some changes in yourself. Those changes which can lead to her coming back. Changing the conditions for why she left in the first place. So you need to really, at this time, while she is not with you, you got to be thinking about why she left. taking the responsibility. If you place blame on any other person, you gotta really try to understand why you placed the blame of this breakup on another person. And so you gotta like figure that out, to really figure out why she left. Ask her, ask her friends, because I'm sure her friends know everything about why this relationship failed and why it is in a failed state right now. So have a social gathering, invite her friends, invite your friends, and don't worry about what the outcome is going to be. Is there a third what? And then have a party. Invite her friends. Don't worry about what the outcome is going to be. What will be will be. And when you see her again, it may be like the first time that you saw her and she was attracted to you. And so that's kind of what we got to have going on there. So do we have any other questions? I hope, is that understandable? Is that understandable at all? A third what, Elaine? What does that mean? What does a third mean? I had other questions, but I I guess I got to go diving into that other live stream to get those other questions. I only think I got to writing one of them down. Oh wait, did I take a screenshot of that? I might have. Let's see if I did that. See if I took a screenshot of that question that. Oh, it's not in this. It's not in here. Maybe it's over here. Hello? 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 I think, is that Desiree? Is that, it's hard to see. Yes, it is Desiree. Welcome, welcome, Desiree. Welcome. I released another one of those, you change your picture. Well, let me go take a look at that. Did you change that to, who's this other young lady that's with you? Because that's one of your kids. I see. That's one of your children. That's cool. She looks just like you. About the one for you at the Bruno Mars concert. Is that like pop music or is that something else? Elena Bell, is there a third? What does a third mean? Elena Bell, if you are still there and you ask something about a third, what does that mean? Your mini me, yeah. Well, I'm kind of like out of the loop of what, I don't know what's popular anymore. Priya. I had a friend named Priya. What does like for mean? Please tell me about what is my future. What is my future man? Let's go my future spouse. going to be like? You know, nobody has asked me that question before. So let's go, let's just see. Let's do some exploration. Yeah, it's a great question. Now, this other person asked a question which I don't really understand at all from Elena Bell of what is third? What is there a third? What is a third? So there is that question out there. I don't know if that's a question that you wanted to ask at all. So I haven't heard from you, so I'm just gonna put that, is there a third? And that is from BE. Now, so I haven't heard from this, so I'm going to put this question over there because I don't really know. So we're going to go here, and we're looking at, today is the 8, it's not the 7, but 6, 1, 8, 2, 6. And so we're looking at, it's a 7 energy for the day. All right. So we have a question. I have a question we have to do here. So, Priya, I want you to choose a number between 1 and 22 for me. Choose a number between 1 and 22. Choose a number between 1 and 22. We're going to use this deck over here first. And just to get some things there, to see what we can get. But if you can select a number between 1 and 22, that would be great. 4, okay? The number 4. And we'll just kind of do a verification here, is if we get anything from here that is like congruent to over here. So I started using my new harmonica. My mouth is healed up enough. Let's go for the 4th hole. This is a harmonica that is tuned to the healing frequency 432. The healing frequency 432. All right. So what we're going to do here... Yeah, I can blow now. I can blow. All right, Priya, I want to ask you to tell me when... let me just do something here. I'm going to mix and match the cards. This is a combined Oracle Tarot deck. I can't riffle shuffle, but let's just try. I can. All right, we'll do that. All right, so we're just looking at what the guy's characteristics, what your future spouse is going to be like. Yeah, it's hard because these cards are thick. All right, so Priya, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to shuffle Priya, and you're going to tell me when to stop shuffling. You're going to tell me when to stop shuffling, Priya. So what is, Mother Mary, what is Priya's future spouse going to be like? What are they going to be like? So a couple cards just slid right out. So two cards slid out. So we just need to find two more. Okay? Okay, do you want these cards over or these cards under? Over or under? Over or under? Over or under? Over. Okay. All right. So these are your cards. Now I'm gonna flip this over so we can just see what the bottom card is. What is this guy gonna be like? What are they like? So in the sense of there's some addiction, there may be some addiction in this guy's personality. What is he gonna be like? A sense of recovery. Addiction, a recovery from addiction. And then we have this other card. So it'll be, he will be older than you. Yes, yes, you can. So the first thing we got, Priya, is this guy's going to be a bit older than you. There are going to be some things in the way. Things in the way. There's going to be some challenges in this future spousal. Okay. Hi, hi, Lucy. Welcome. You know my mother's name is Lucy, but it's spelled Lucie. And why don't you state your question, Chinese disco babe, and then, but yeah. So we got. Oh, did I? No. Oh, I can't do it from here. Okay. So what we have here is there's a sense of recovery and bondage, and so your future spouse is going to be in a state of maybe addiction to something or some codependency issues are going on, but there'll be a like a seesaw effect between um, between being in bondage to something and also being in recovery from it. So that's something that you got to watch out for. So maybe it's an alcohol addiction. Maybe it is addictive, some kind of an addictive behavior. Maybe like some obsessive compulsive behaviors, or like maybe obsessive hand washing, or that's or something like obsessive cleanliness. But there is a sense of being in recovery from an addiction, and it could easily be that he might be addicted to have a roving eye, and being addicted um, to um, to sex, if I want to put it that way, because we have this sort of this shadowy devil card here, and on this shadowy devil card are all these women and being kind of in bondage too. So what is this person? You're going to have some challenges in this future relationship with addiction. And but then, and it may be when you meet him, because this was sitting over here, when you meet him, he's in a state of recovery and kind of withdrawn from the world, or his social connections are weak, has a weak sense of friendship. And so that could mean if the person's addictions are to like drugs and alcohol, when you are in a state of recovery, they are away from those places that cause them to fall and cause them to stumble, which could be like this major obstacle that it'll be hard to get around. But this card, the maturity card, is a sense that He's going to be older than you, Priya. He's going to be older than you, Priya. What? But but ultimately, in a sense, there's going to be this sense of bondage, and then and so you're going to need to be compassionate. You're going to need to have compassion for this because there's going to be this kind of a cycle that's going to be coming in his life between being bound to whatever it is he's addicted to and going into recovery, which means there may be a bit of chaos in this relationship. Chaos, because a sense of being withdrawal. You'll have to you'll have to be. So is this kind of what you're? Is this something that kind of like maybe the family that you grew up in? Was your dad this way? Is this something, Priya, that you are already familiar with in your family, in the family that you came out of? So it may just be, Priya, that okay, so he's a narcissist. I see. So okay, so what it is that this may be that you are already used to being in a trauma bond with somebody, and this is what you are expecting your relationship to be. And having affairs, it was just what I was thinking of, an addiction to women, an addiction to that. Okay. So, and that's a hard one to get over because, you know, and not being able to make those commitments, but being in bondage to those addictions. And so, well, you know what, Priya, you might need to do some work on yourself. So, so Priya, I'm going to suggest that I'm going to suggest for you some homework. I'm going to suggest some homework, Priya. I'm going to suggest that you do some homework, and the homework that you need to do for yourself is to figure out why do you want to be with a guy like this? Why do you want to be with somebody that's like a man in, like maybe like your dad or like your mom or like a grandfather or like somebody that's in your family? Why do you want that person? So you don't want to. What you want to do is you need to figure out why you want to be with that type of person, because it sounds like you are attracting into your life somebody that is going to recreate that same trauma that you grew up in. That same trauma. It may be, if you have access, Priya, to uh, seeing a third party person, to try to figure out why. But in the meantime, I would suggest that you do some journaling. And you, if you change yourself, Priya, you will not, you won't attract this person. So if you change the reasons why you need to be in a trauma bond relationship, that you need this trauma in your life, that you need somebody who's emotionally unavailable, that you need somebody who is addicted to something. You need something that is always coming back and saying they're sorry, and then, recovering for a short time, but then falling right back into it. If you need to have this person who's older than you. Now, I the what I recommend is for you to heal this trauma bond. It's about doing reflection, a lot of reflection in your life. And so, for instance, you do your self-reflection, you do journaling, but if you have access to going to see somebody, like if you have access to, you know, to see a counselor or somebody who you can just talk to, a third party person, a person who is not family, who's not a friend, somebody who will tell you the truth because it's their job to do that. So you need to have somebody to tell you the truth because it is their job to tell you that truth. We're going to take a look at this card. This is what you chose, number 4. Number 4 here. Did I just blow right past it? Oh, there it is. Dalit. The D. Let's just read this card here. So, welcome, Darren. So we're looking at you're looking at a characteristic of someone who is swings in between glory. It's a intellect and emotion to reach inner balance to avoid impulsive behavior and excessive criticism. It opens the door. It opens the door and prepares your vessel for receiving from a beneficial source. So you enable the provider to fulfill his destiny and ascend spiritually. Dalit will help you accept the circumstances as they are, contain others without judgment, and plan your future accurately. Protects against poverty, gives patience and persistence, and good livelihood in your chosen profession. Dalit brings you closer to the ground, nature, physical, manual labor, and good times for new beginnings, fulfillment of aspirations. And Tuesday, Dalit, the letter that can. So you're looking at a fiery energy, that is both intelligent and and so what is this person going to be like? They're going to be like a fiery person, a fiery person, like your Aries, like an Aries, maybe like a god of war type of person, but that's a hothead, emotional person, but also very smart, very smart. And that very smart person may cover their tracks. They may appear much, more beautiful on the surface, but then once you get to know them, then the devil comes out. The devil comes out in them. Okay, I hope that this helps. Is this helpful at all? Is this helpful at all? Welcome, Luma. I'm doing well. I am doing well. Okay, all right. There we go. Now we have Chinese disco babe. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. I hope that you can find a person. So Luma, you asked me this question a couple days ago, and you asked me that question a couple days ago. Well, I wish Chinese disco babe would have left her question. She'd come back in 5 minutes, and so is Elena still here? All right. Well, we have Chinese disco babe, and we have Luma. Okay. One of the things I wanted to say, as per me, in boundary situations, is that I rarely ask psychics questions about my own future because I don't want to know about my own future. So I'm just putting that out there just because of that is like one of the things that I am really not interested in knowing about is tomorrow. Yeah, Disco Babe left. She'll come back, but I will do Luma. Will my love come back? Okay, so Luma, could you give me can you give me a number between 1 and 22? A number between 1 and 22. And then we'll get on with your 1 and 22. I'd like a number between 1 and 22, Luma. 14, okay? Welcome. All right. So let's just go here. Let me get a drink of water here. But I will say, Luma, that I'm actually on the verge of starting doing something new. Very excited about it, too. About doing something new. Something new, which there's something new that's coming back into my life is actually nothing new, but it is something that hasn't been in my life for 20 years, roughly, and I'm actually 18 years, but I'm bringing something back from my past into my life, into the present. So in that sense, Luma, you were kind of correct that something new is coming into my life. But whether that new thing will involve another country, I don't know, because I am actually rooted into this place, Luma, because I own property. I own property. I own property, and there are other things. Well, you know what? I did say those prayers. I was awake that time at 8:30 a.m. that day. I was. I was. I did. I prayed half a rosary that day at 8:30 a.m. till about 9. But other than that, Luma, I was just telling you, I don't really want to know anything about tomorrow. So we are, 2 cards popped out. But usually, Luma, I'm actually not awake at 8:30 in the morning because I go to bed at 4 or 5 in the morning. That's my normal bedtime is... Uh-oh. A whole bunch of other cards popped out. So what we're going to do is... okay, well, all right. But like I said, I'm actually don't particularly want to know about tomorrow. So let's go on to your... I see that a couple came in, so I'm going to write those questions down, and then we're going to begin your question, Luma. All right. I see 2 here. And Chinese Disco Baby, she did not leave her question. So you want to know about your entrance exam? And so passing, I don't... okay, entrance exam to government college. All right, you want to know if you're going to pass that. And then we have... current feelings. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, this is the order. It is Luma, Tarot Reader, and Nidhai. Okay? All right, Luma. Tell me when to stop shuffling. When do I need to stop shuffling, Luma? When, Mother Mary, when will Luma's love come back? Will Luma's love come back? Will Luma's... okay, right there. So maybe there's some holding on. So maybe it will require... what's going to require here... what you got to go on is you're holding too tightly. You're holding too tightly onto something. And so you got to relax your hold, relax your grip. This is a body energy. You have a lot of body energy here, and you're holding too tight. You're holding too tight to this. And you have to learn you have to learn moderation and balance. So the energy behind this is, so in order to complete yourself, we got this sense of completion and a sort of a, and you're not manifesting your complete form, your complete, this complete form. And so you have to work on yourself. You have to do some work on yourself. Work on self. That work on self is kind of in a, have to work on yourself, and you need to develop some moderation. Pay attention to people's boundaries. Pay attention to people's boundaries, and not hold so tight. You have to loosen your grip. So loosen your grip. Loosen your grip on your attachments. Loosen your grip on attachments. So loosen your grip on your attachments. Be more moderate, have more moderation in your life. Being more at peace with yourself. Because otherwise, that's what's behind this maybe. That's what's behind this maybe. So a lot of work on yourself here. Now let's go take a look at this number 14. This number 14. So it's essentially is at this current time you're not manifesting your most perfect sense, your most perfect self. So your letter is Nun, the 14th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And let's take a look at that. I guess it's time for me to start making dinner. Okay, so the 14th level, the letter Nun connects between the spheres of eternity and foundation and is associated with the water element. So it's about building your foundations. And 1 plus 4 equals 5. And so you are, Luma, we're looking at the number 5 of coming from 1 and 4. And so you have to make some changes. And they are going to be challenging. And they will result in some freedom for you. Freedom. 1 plus 4 is 5. 1 being a new, a 1 being you need to begin new. Begin new, and you are building your foundation. So build a new foundation. A new foundation under your house. Build a new foundation under your house because your current foundation is not serving you. It's not serving you. So some changes, and they will be challenging. So those changes you need to make is adding more balance and harmony into your life and not holding so tight to that which you have. And working and giving proper attention to the details of your life. So what in this sense you're not really paying attention to those things in your life that really, really matter. And so we look at Nun, the letter Nun, connects your spheres of eternity to foundation and is associated with the water element. So you're looking at your emotional state, your emotional intelligence. The letter Nun shall elevate you to the vibration of abundance, blessings, and success. It will help you develop a multidisciplinary talent, a broad worldview, powerful, strong presence, and good intuition. Noon strengthens the faith, ascends you to a spiritual level that transcends the difficulties of your material life, and will bring you rewards you deserve after difficult times. Noon contributes to stability, permanence, and continuity, and assists the fulfillment of long-term investments. It will strengthen loyalty and teach you to restrain yourself to avoid falls. With its help, you will experience rebirth and recovery after crisis and find the strength to release old issues from the past to make way for a better future. So good times for a new beginning and fulfillment of aspirations for the month of Scorpio. Okay? Well, tarot reading, you need to be a little bit more patient. I have an order here. I do have an order of how the questions came in. So the next person, you are next. Okay, I hope that helps. So please be patient. You don't, just because you come in here and you ask a question doesn't mean that you're going to be immediately taken care of. So tarot reader, you just be patient. Be patient. Well, Luma, I was praying for you before I did this reading. So I will keep you in my prayers. So, will you pass the government exam to get into college? All right, well, I need to close this door because my mother at 86 has no sense of boundaries anymore. All right. Let's go on to tarot reader question. I'm going to start by clearing the air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mother Mary, tarot reader Julie has a question. Julie wants to know if they will pass the entrance exam to the government college. Will they pass the entrance exam at the government college? Okay? So, tarot reader, I want you to be with me right now. You are here with me. And I want you to be here with me right now. Yes, will you get into the government college? Will Julie get into the government college? So we're going to rephrase the question. Will Julie get into government college? So, Mother Mary, will Julie get into the government college? Okay, Julie, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. You tell me, when do I need to stop shuffling? When do I need to stop shuffling? Tell me when I need to stop shuffling. Will Julie get into the government college? Tell me when to stop shuffling, Julie. When do you feel like that shuffle should stop? Well, it looks like these came out on their side. 3 questions. All right. Your cards popped out. They came out on their own accord. All right. This is your answer. Maybe. You might get into the college. You're going to have some challenges. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of competition. You may not be the winner. You have a lot of competition here. And so what do we got going on here, Julie? You have 9. The number is 9 and 1. And so there's a sense here of being stuck and not able to so this is where you are at. You have to complete everything that needs to be done, but you're stuck. You're stuck. And this experience here being I'm kind of really looking at it like this. Like this. You have everything completed. But in order to get into the government college, you have to go into a new cycle in order to get in there. But this card here, as it is in this form, it shows that you're not gonna. It shows that you may not get in. You may not be selected, even though you did everything right. Because what you have is your intelligence, your emperor experience, your emperor card, your rules, the rules that you maintain, and then being sit in the emperor spot. And then it follows up with, you have a lot of competition here, a lot of fighting. You have to fight your way to the top to be at the right place, the right percentile, the right have everything right. And so if you if you stray from this spirit of doing everything right by the books, and you try and go into something like cheating, for instance. I'm not suggesting you are, but trying to do something that is less than, if you're trying to get an edge somehow that is not coming straight up out of this emperor strength, this emperor energy, you won't get in. But if you can reframe yourself from from doing, if you can refrain yourself and be honest, then the chances of you getting in is pretty high. Okay? So overall, we're looking at it's an overall of a new beginning. You have a new beginning here. This adds up to a new beginning. 9 plus 1 is 10, reduces down to a new beginning with infinite potential. Okay? Does that help? I hope that helps. All right, now I'm going to be moving on here. Chinese Disco Babe is going to have to ask her question at the, because I got to start making dinner here soon, and Chinese Disco Babe's not going to get back in time to ask her question. Oh, what do we got here? We have Yolanda. So is Nid Hissinger still here? Is Nid Hissinger still here? Is Nid Hissinger? Is this person still here? Is this person still here? So if you, I want you to, I'm going to give you a minute to come and respond, starting from now, and otherwise I'm going to move on to Yolanda. Then I'll do your reading the next time I come on. Maybe we'll see what. Oh, there's another person too, a Jenna. I need to write that down exactly. I forgot. I didn't get her. So there's actually so Jenna. Jenna, CORE 8084. So do they love me? Okay. Right, I'm just gonna go do this. So you jumped in late. So Jenna, I'm gonna get to. I'm just gonna do this really fast. We will do this Actually, I'm not gonna not this one. Let's do this other. Let's do this. What's the vibe of this one? I'm gonna just go do this one here for a Nid Singer. I don't. You're not here. I know. So, what are Chris's current feelings? What are Chris's current feelings? What is the vibe of this situation? So, what is the vibe about Chris? What is the vibe about Chris? What is the vibe about Chris? What does Chris feel? What is the vibe about Chris? What is the vibe about Chris? Lust. That's one of the things we got going on here is lust. So Chris has got a bit of lust going on, a problem with lust. What else do we have with Chris? Exhaustion. There is lust, there's tiredness, exhaustion, and a need to get away. Chris has got to get away. So what does Chris feel? Chris feels lust. Chris is exhausted. Chris needs a vacation. So, Nid Singer, Chris feels lust, greed. He's a bit inconsiderate and he's burned out. He's empty. He feels burdened by his greed, his lust for whatever it is that he is seeking, and he needs to get away. He needs to relax and have fun. So you should suggest to take a vacation with Chris. Get him out of that cycle. This cycle that he is in needs to be broken. And the only thing that can break that cycle is a vacation. All right, Nid Singer, I hope that helps. I'm going to move on to Jenna. And then to Jenna, and then to Yolanda. Okay, we're gonna go fast because I gotta end this live stream in just a few minutes. So Jenna, are you here, Jenna? $20. So this number comes up to 20. All right, Jenna, are you here? Are you here? Still here, Jenna? Okay. All right, Jenna. So Jenna, can you select a number for me between 0 and 38? I think it starts at 0. I think this has a 0 card. $22. Okay. We're going to start with number 22 then. We're just going to put it over here. This is 22. No, that's 26. Let's find 22. There's 22. So with 22, you're looking at something that's foundational. Look at here. You got like 2 in your number here. So you're looking at 22. You're looking at a doubling of feminine energy. We're looking at a doubling of feminine energy. You're looking at the doubling of balance, of yin-yang energy. A doubling. a doubling of feminine energy. And so that's kind of what we see with this. And you're looking at something that's very foundational. Is it's looking at foundations and foundations. And so if we want to look at, if we have go select a major arcana tarot energy, for your number 22, we're kind of looking at Emperor energy going on here. So 22, the number here, it corresponds to this. You're looking at some major, in the Emperor energy of do they love you? And so that is a person who may be more kind of a very firm person, a mature person, a person who has mature. Is this person older than you? So Vanderbilt, I'm gonna have to this Yola. I will. Okay. Can I get into the English section here? So with this Emperor energy, you're looking at the embodiment of dominance. You're looking at a dominant energy. That does this person love you? You're looking at Emperor energy. You're looking at the divine masculine. The divine masculine, whereas the number 2 is that of the divine feminine. Divine feminine. So you have the number 2 is divine feminine. You are looking at, in a sense of, so he's 3 months older. So he's older. So it's a little bit more mature, a little bit more dominant, a dominant force in your life. And you want to know if they love you or not. So 3 months older. Okay. All right. Why don't you tell me, so Mother Mary, does Jenna's man or person love them? Does Jenna's person love them? So tell me when to stop shuffling. Jenna, tell me when to stop shuffling. So you're 37 and you're kind of on the mature side. Okay, I get you. So tell me when to stop shuffling, Jenna. When do I need to stop shuffling? Whenever you kind of feel like I need to stop, okay, right now. Well, you got, this is a good sign. This person loves you. It's not a maybe. It's actually it's very definite. There's a definite sense of this. We have this repetition of this number 4. You chose 22, 4. We have this sense of 4. And so we have like 13, 17, 18, 23. And then your total thing is all about 5, about change, challenge, freedom. Change, challenge, and freedom. And so you have a sense of triumph. So this person has a sense that maybe when he's with you, you are like his queen. He feels more stable when he's around you, and he feels as though you are a prize that he won in a victory. But this relationship will be very challenging for both of you. You both are going to have to make a whole bunch of changes in order to make this happen, to have your feminine energy and his dominant energy mixing together. All right, I'm gonna move on because I gotta make dinner. And so Jenna, does that help? Does that help at all? I want to do Yolanda, and then I'm gonna have to save Chinese disco that resonates with that. Okay, great, great. So we're just gonna do this one here for Yolanda, and then I'm gonna have to do Vanderbilt the next time. And I'm adding your question: will I be able, able, to go abroad next year? And I'm gonna try and get to you. I'm gonna try and get to you, but I gotta cut this. I gotta cut this session off because I am the cook in the house. Welcome. You're welcome. I hope that that helped. Did Ty? You did see the reading, and I hope that helped. Okay. So Yolanda, are you still here, Yolanda? So your question, Yolanda, are you still? Are we still together? I'm gonna just do this really fast for Yolanda. Okay. All right, Yolanda. Well, you know what? I forgot to do, Jenna. I forgot to look at your numbers here. So look at any of the if any of these words, um, Jenna, pop out at you. Those things will refer to this relationship that you're in. So if you look at the word resort was the first one that popped out at me of being kind of that when you're together right now it may feel like you're on a vacation and you're kind of like a student here. You're in a really a learning phase. You're acting together as if you were a stereo, acting together as if you were a stereo. And then also we have egg, like something new is going to hatch out of this. Something new is coming your way. But you will always be together in this relationship as if you were in stereo. All right. I'm sorry that I didn't get to that when we were there. But we're going on to Yolanda. Yolanda. So Mother Mary, will they get back together? Will Yolanda and her partner get back together? All right, Yolanda. We're doing a 3 card. You tell me when to stop shuffling. Tell me when do I need to stop shuffling, Yolanda. You're going to choose your own answer by ending this shuffle. Choosing your own answer. So tell me when to stop shuffling. Looks like your cards popped out. Well, there's a possibility that you're going to get back together, but it's not guaranteed. It's not an absolute thing. It's just a possibility. It's possible. It's possible. You're going to be needing to do a lot of work. The thing that's going to you're going to have to do a lot of work. And a lot of work for this to happen. Tending your field and then having a clear vision. So you're looking at what you're looking at, Yolanda, is having a clear vision. Work. Putting the work in. Putting the work in. Now, what does that mean? So you have a bit of self indulgence, or if you are living beyond your means, you're going to have to start living in your means. You're going to have to demonstrate that you can live within your means. You can live within the resources that exist in your life. So apparently, maybe what happened, Yolanda, is this guy left because he you weren't. You were spending too much money. Somebody was spending too much money in this relationship. Either you broke it up with him or he broke up with you, but it was because of this a sense of living beyond your means. And this is something you got to fix. This is something you got to fix, Yolanda. If you don't fix this, it ain't going to happen. And so you're going to have to figure out how to live in your means. How do you be satisfied with what it is that you got? Thank you, Lucy. You have to be satisfied. How do you be satisfied with what you got? And this is hard work. This is going to be hard work. And if you have the problem with living within what you have and not looking off at any shiny object that comes your way, that is going to gum up the works for this relationship. It's not going to work. So that's the and so this is going to be putting in some effort, the time, and you're going to have to be patient with yourself because you're going to fail. It's going to take a while. You're going to fail. So you're going to have to work and learn how to live with what you possess. Learn how to live with what you possess. Learn how to live with what you possess. Okay, does that help at all? 10. So we're looking at you are, in a sense, feeling incomplete, but you need to make a step forward, into a new cycle, into a new place when you can be with this one challenge, with this one task, Yolanda. If you can figure out how to consistently live with what you possessed, you will pop into a new phase and you will seem completely different to this guy. And this relationship, it may be him, it may be you. I don't know who broke up with who, but this is just the relationship as it was. It was separated because of this thing here. This thing here, whatever this means, is why that relationship failed, and that this thing here has to be fixed in order for this relationship to resume again. Okay? Does that help at all? I don't know if that helps. And I don't know if that was what you were expecting either. But I'm going to move on to Vanderbilt, and then I got to end this reading here. Thank you, Lucy. All right, I don't know if you still hear Vanderbilt. Not, we're just going to move on, and I will end. So Mother Mary Vanderbilt wants to know if she will be able to go abroad next year. Will she be able to go to another country next year? So will Vanderbilt be able to go to another country next year? Will she be able to go travel next year? We got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and these are your cards right here, Vanderbilt. You know, this is a really strong yes. This is a very strong yes. Yes, Vanderbilt. You will be able to make this happen. But you're going to be, you have this emperor energy here that is going to provide you with that solid foundation to make this happen. So we have a 12, 34, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. So 5, a strong 5 of change, challenge, freedom. I've gotten a lot of this 5 energy has come up today in people's readings. So you got to stick to your guns, stick to your position of power, Vanderbilt. Defend your positions. But you have to maintain empathy and compassion and emotional control throughout this whole year while you are arranging the funds and getting your plans together. Okay? All right, Vanderbilt. Thank you very much for this reading. I'm going to flag you in the in this thing, and I gotta go. Sorry, Chinese Disco Babe, you dropped out for 5 minutes. You need to go ask your question. And a lot of Emperor energy here. Yolanda had Emperor energy, and let me put your question into the mix. I'm gonna write your question down, and then I gotta end this reading here at HUAWAHASSAN 3747. What are feeling towards me? Let me take a look at your account. What can I see about you? Empty channel. Okay. All right. I am gonna get to your question the very next time I go live. The very next time I go live, because I'm the cook in the house, and if I don't start making dinner, I'm gonna get into trouble, into bad trouble. So I'm sorry that I'm not gonna get you, but I will flag you in the video the next time I go live, which will be tomorrow afternoon. I will pick up your question. Okay. Thank you very much. I apologize for not getting to everybody. Chinese Disco Babe, I apologize that I had a limited amount of time. And for you, 3747, I will get to you the very, very next time I come on. Thank you very much. And thank you, Lucy, and thank you, Desiree, for popping in for a few minutes. I wanted to thank everybody, Yolanda, Jenna, Luma, and everybody for coming in and saying hello, hanging out in the chat, pushing the like button. All 16 of you, and the 5 that are here. Thank you very much for being here, and I will be back with all you all soon in the future, most likely tomorrow. I have a family reunion on Saturday. I'm going to be gone all day Saturday. Be back. If I don't make it back tomorrow afternoon, I'll be coming on Sunday afternoon, my regular scheduled reading. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.